You may be wondering how to recognize a toxic relationship? I'll give you 10 red flags to look out for and 4 tips to help you unwind. If you don't want to miss an episode, subscribe to stay informed. The information does not apply only to your relationship with your partner. It may also apply to anyone you're close with and who occupies a lot of your time. People change as they grow, so how can you tell if you should overlook a serious issue or accept someone's flaws as they grow up? We all have faults after all. Although it's not impossible to think that people can change their behavior, there are certain behaviors and attitudes that just don't change much over time, at least without professional assistance, since they're a part of their personality. Following is a list of behaviors you should not ignore or overlook and just think that they will go away with time. Furthermore, these behaviors and attitudes do not only emerge during tough times, they are consistent over time, no matter what circumstances they are experiencing. Number 1. In this case, the person uses anger to control an underlying condition like depression or anxiety. If someone has chronic anger, it is often manifested through blow-ups, irritability, or moodiness. As a result, you measure your actions to avoid making them angry, so you tread on eggshells around their anger. Number 2. Sarcasm. Acting with this kind of sarcasm is just an attempt to disguise anger. Number 3. This is a form of disparaging humor. Sarcasm is wit with bitterness behind it. And here, the person is always putting something or someone down, but in a joking way. Number 4. Assuming that people deserve the bad things that happen to them or that idiots deserve to lose. Here's another example. Let's say I blow up at you and call you a slur, and you get upset, and I say, sorry, I hurt your feelings, but you push my buttons. Don't push my buttons. In reality, I'm really saying, I'm not sorry. Yeah, I dislike it that you got upset, but you deserved my rage for being stupid. That is a punitive mentality. Number 5. I have a controlling nature. For instance, let's say I tell you, I do not think you look good in purple. And then I see you out and about wearing purple, and I get upset, etc. Besides, if you really cared about me, you wouldn't wear purple, since I told you you don't look good in it. Thus, wearing that shirt means you don't care about my opinion at all. Your response is, well, of course, I care about you. I won't wear it again, I'm so sorry. Now you have to think twice. Every day when you visit your closet, it's controlling if you wear something I told you I didn't like and that invalidates me. Number 6. This is when they are insecure to the point that they feel they have to constantly be reassured. They may also need you to agree with them. Do what they say, do things their way, etc. They will accuse you of this if you don't. Number 7. Often disguised as judgmental, and criticism often follows judgment. Extremely opinionated, as if they are really judging. Number 8. And how do they do this? They use if, then statements to manipulate you into doing things. For example, if you really care about me, then you would do that. The fact that they use a lot of if thens is an indication that they're trying to manipulate you. They also don't take no for an answer, and often change their minds. In other words, they ask why you don't want to do something that they want you to do over and over again, to try and change your mind. So, you've already said no to something they want you to do? What is your answer? Let's say I recommend you move into my apartment. If you don't want to, you've already said no. It goes away, we have the same conversation, I bring it up again, oh, why won't you I have this nice place, why won't you move in with me? Come on, Move in with me. Then, eventually, it becomes easier and easier to reword your response. Over and over, since you don't have any other options. Each time you have answered, I have talked you down. So, you finally reach the point where you are like, well, it seems I don't really have a good reason to give, okay. And that's manipulation. Number 9. Self-centeredness. People who primarily take and don't give back to others, and they may give back to others when they have fully met their needs. Despite giving so much of themselves, they may still feel exploited and taken advantage of and blame you. Sometimes it's not even pleasant to get something from these people, since you know they'll blame you the next day for their mistreatment. Number 10. This is a negative flag because they believe people will always try and stick it to you unless you get yours first. Therefore, they always have to get over it in some way. For every transaction, they have to be on the winning end. It's possible that you could be attracted to someone who does these types of things even if you don't like their behavior. Since even objectionable behavior feels familiar at some level. What if you already have a toxic relationship? Here are 4 suggestions to remove it. Take time away from the person. Think about what bothers you about the relationship. The second step is to create emotional distance from the person you are living with. How do you feel when you are away from them? What do you miss about them? Here you are getting some clarity on the positives and negatives of the relationship. Here is the key to disentangling from toxic relationships. Consider the closeness required. Is this person your spouse? You should get professional help to help improve your relationship, but aside from that, you should still step back a bit. Although I'm not suggesting you keep your spouse cold, suppose your spouse can be cynical and critical, and this has beaten you down over the years. In order to protect your self-esteem, you need to give her opinion less weight so that you don't internalize her criticism. It is still important to maintain your own thoughts, ideas, and independence from your spouse, even in the closest of relationships. It's okay to have thoughts that are exclusively yours and not someone else's, because you are still separate individuals. You don't need to keep secrets from your husband. There is no need to merge your thoughts into one big thought bank, and then dip into the bank to figure out what's going on. But what if the person with whom you have this toxic relationship is your parent? Once you accept this reality, it is hard to let go of your desire to have a close relationship with your parents. At some basic level, most kids hope to have a close relationship with their parents. What are you doing to provoke your partner into losing his temper? Or are you giving your mother the same treatment as she gives you? Is your partner provoking you to lose your temper? Is your mother treating you the same way you treat her? When you recognize how you're contributing to the problem, look to change your behavior and see if it impacts the relationship. Often, people stay in toxic relationships for a reason, even if it is twisted. It is natural for things to start breaking down in a relationship when you deal with your own issues within it. As a result, it's no longer working as before since you haven't played your part anymore. You should seek professional help if your marriage or family is experiencing serious problems. You need a person who can view both sides from an objective viewpoint. Additionally, if it's an outside relationship, then you should speak to your own therapist too. Recognize any blind spots and how to correct them. I'm going to stop for now. I couldn't finish that. That was quite long. It might just have been because I talked about so much negativity. You don't need to stay trapped in a negative relationship. Oh, and by the way, I also made an affirmation meditation video that goes along with today's video. Please share this video with anyone you know who could benefit from it. I'd love to hear your comments too. In reality, people are flawed individuals, and sometimes it's just not possible to have that emotional intimacy. At least to the extent one would like to. This is especially the case if we live in a society that glorifies the perfect relationship. If you realize this, you pull back as far as you need to in order to maintain whatever relationship is logistically necessary. Having minimal interaction means you don't let their opinions define you. Number 3, look at your role in adding to the drama. What are you doing?